So how much money do people make on YouTube? I've seen people with 1 million subscribers and they end up getting a job at Burger King to help pay their rent. But then there's also the ones who live in Los Angeles, have the multi-million-dollar mansions, the Ferraris, the fancy cars. So how much do people actually make on this platform? Today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you exactly how much money I made in the past 365 days from this YouTube channel. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit hesitant to make this video because I don't want it to come off in the wrong way. In no way is this bragging or trying to show off, but considering the fact that this channel is about personal finance, I figured it's probably best to talk about my personal finances on this channel. So that's what we're gonna do today in this video. I'm gonna show you exactly how much money I made from this channel that you're watching right now. And you know, let's just get to it. Let's just cut the chase and let's just kind of get into these numbers here. In 2019, I made $220,000 from this channel. Now, this might sound a little bit strange considering the channel size. It might sound kind of like a lot compared to what most people would expect for a channel that has about 360,000 subscribers. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I thought about YouTube, when I started a couple years ago, I just kind of assumed that people might make a couple $1,000s a month with the size of my channel at the moment. But there's a lot of factors that go into it, and I'm gonna show you exactly why my channel kind of makes more money per view than what some other larger channels might make. But then I'm also gonna give you some tips and tricks and some reasons kind of just to break down, I think, why the channel kind of did well in the past year. I mean, 365 days ago, I had about 50,000 subscribers and I was making about $3,000 a month. So let's just talk about this today and try to be analytical about this and hopefully just provide some value. All right, so to better understand this, we need to kind of take this back to about 2.5 years ago when I made my first video on YouTube. So when I started on YouTube, in my first month, I made a grand total of $2. Now, this isn't even enough to buy 2 cheeseburgers at McDonald's, and I probably put in about 200 hours of work in the first month. I was a freshman in college, and at the end of the month, I had 64 subscribers on my channel. Now, I think at this point, in most cases, I probably would have just given up on the channel because I didn't see a lot of results in the beginning. And this is something that I've struggled with in the past before, where I'll get excited about something. Maybe it's a New Year's resolution, maybe it's some business venture that I think about, selling mealworms like what I used to do when I was in high school. But whatever it was that I did, I would get excited about it for a couple of weeks and then it would kind of just fizzle out because I wouldn't see any drastic results. I wouldn't see, you know, 1 million subscribers in a month, and so I would kind of just give up on it because the videos I was putting out, you know, 10, 20 videos in my first month, and each one of those videos might have had 10 views by the end of the month. Most of those were just me like repeatedly watching the videos that I was putting out. And so because I didn't see many results, I thought about kind of giving up on it. And this isn't to make myself sound like good or something, but I realized that if I could just stick with it, it's kind of hard to fail at something if you just focus on it for a long period of time and then you get good at it and you kind of learn how to use a camera, for example. I mean, my videos were absolutely horrendous back then. They're still not that great, but over time you get better at it. And that's something that I realized, and so I thought, you know what, let's just stick it through. Let's stick through the whole year and see how well we can do on the channel. And so by the end of the year, in 2017, I had 5,500 subscribers, which was pretty cool. I was excited about it, and at the end of the year, I had made $952.11. I still remember those numbers, $952 by the end of the year. I was putting in probably about 60-hour weeks while I was in college. I was like barely going to class. It was probably not the best idea, but I was just really excited about it. But when you actually average out the amount of hours that I put into the channel, I made about 31 cents per hour in 2017 on my YouTube channel. That's peasant wages. That is kind of just like scary low wages for the amount of work that I was putting in versus the amount of money and output that I got from it. But the point here is that it kind of just scales exponentially. And so in 2018, I started to take it a little bit more seriously. I dialed back my hours because I was still in college and I just kind of wanted to kind of be smarter, more strategic about how I'm making videos. So in 2018, I made $31,000 from this channel, and that was pretty nice. I mean, it was just enough money to pay for all of the college loans that I had for the year, which was kind of depressing because college is really expensive in America. So I ended up with pretty much just $0 by the end of the year after paying off all of college. But even with that said, $31,000, it's kind of enough to have a living income. You can live off of $31,000. Might be a little bit difficult sometimes, but it was definitely possible, and I was happy about that. But by the end of 2018, I had about 55,000 subscribers, so my channel grew tenfold. And then this year in 2019, it went from about 55,000 subscribers to 360,000 or maybe 370,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And so this year on the channel, I made about $220,000. I'll actually show you my ad revenue here just because people get weird about it sometimes when we talk about this, and they think it just sounds too high for the amount of views that I got, because I don't get crazy views on my channel. But the reason why the ad rates are high is because of the content that I put out on this channel. So because I talk about personal finance and money and investing and saving money and everything else related to those topics, there tends to be a lot of money in this industry because it's finance. Banks are willing to pay hundreds of dollars to get new clients. Financial institutions, brokerage firms, they're willing to pay so much money to acquire many new clients for their businesses, and so they're going to run ads on my videos. They're going to reach out for sponsored deals. I can do some affiliate links with them for some affiliate partnerships. So there's just a lot of money in the industries from what I found, and that's why the ad rates are kind of higher. So let me kind of just pull this up for you here. This is the past 365 days, about $173,000. We can look at some other months too. So we can look at, like, let's go for December. Was probably, I can't read this because I'm looking at it backwards here, but it's probably about $23,000 or $24,000 in ad revenue from this channel. I'm not gonna lie, when I started on YouTube a couple years ago, I thought, maybe I might get $1 or $2 per 1,000 views, which means that for a 1,000,000 view video, you might get $1,000 or $2,000. But generally, my channel average is a lot higher than that. It's closer to $10 or $15 in my pocket for every 1,000 views that I get on this channel. Now, let me give you an example here. If you look at two of my videos that both got over 1,000,000 views, we can look at the minimalist apartment video that I put out, and the lifetime for that video that I put out was less than $4,000 for 1.35 million views. So when you do the math on that, that looks like what you would typically see a lot of YouTubers making from a video that gets 1.3 million views, seeing something around maybe $3,000 or $4,000, and that's considered pretty good. But then on my channel, I have other videos that have performed, we could say, better in terms of the actual ad revenue from those videos. So for example, this video that I put out about 10 months ago about some of my income sources made me $22,675 in ad revenue from this one particular video. And that's from about 2 million views with $22,000 in my pocket from that. So it really does depend on the video that you put out and the topic that you put it out on. From ad revenue total, I think it was about $175,000 for the year. And then we made money from a lot of affiliate links in videos. So for example, when you watch this video right now, sometimes when I'm talking about personal finance and I'm talking about high interest savings accounts, there's some companies like CIT Bank, for example, which will pay me $100 or sometimes $125 every time somebody clicks on the link down in the description below in this video, and then they sign up for that bank account. I'm going to get kind of a kickback or a piece of the pie there. And I'm very open about this. This is just my strategy. That sometimes there's products that I think are just good products that I'm willing to promote, and then I'll end up getting kind of some money from that. And I don't see any problem with that. I don't sell anything on this channel. Like, I have no physical products. I don't sell online courses. I make all of my money from the back end from my videos, okay? And that's just my strategy. Now, it's not to say that selling products is wrong. I mean, most people sell products, but I know a lot of people who might sell like $1,000 online courses that show you how to make an online course that you can then sell to more people to sell online courses. It gets kind of weird in the online course world. It's just not something that I'm looking to explore. But people make a lot of money from it. I'm going to be honest with you. I probably could have made $1 million this year from selling online courses to people watching these videos, showing them how to like make money or something. But I just don't want to do that. I don't like doing that. I like just having all my money on the back end so that it's free content and providing as much value as possible. Maybe I just watched too much Gary Vaynerchuk back in the day or something. But either way, that's just what I like to do, and that's my strategy for it. And then there's also some different revenue sources as well. So not just from ad revenue or from affiliate revenues, but even some sponsor deals. I don't do those as often as I would like to. I'm probably going to do that more in 2020. But then there's also just various amounts of money too, like from Amazon Associates. I'll make some money when people click on a link for, say, signing up for Audible, and then I might get $10 every time somebody signs up. But when you scale that $10 for Audible and then you scale it, by thousands of people, you can see how it certainly adds up when you're getting millions of views on your channel. So that's the revenue sources there. But let's actually get kind of into this and talk about some analytical things and how I kind of think that this channel did kind of well in the past year. So I'm a very analytical person, and I like to kind of understand why things are doing well and where things are going wrong and how we can fix those, right? And so looking at this, we can really break it down into 3 simple areas where YouTube really cares about, and so this is something that I noticed. So I actually call these the big 3, and these are actually kind of simple from the outside, but they can actually get pretty complicated on the inside. Now, the first thing YouTube really cares about if they're thinking about pushing out my videos is they think about engagement, okay? So they think about how many likes is the video getting, how many people are commenting, how many people are subscribing, all of which I would appreciate if you did, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm. So if you want to drop a like or subscribe or leave a comment, that all really helps with a video because it shows YouTube that people are engaged in the video, they like the video, or it's at least stirring up some controversy, and so therefore they're going to push it out to more people. And so that's one of the big things that YouTube really cares about, but they also care quite a bit about click-through rate. Okay, so click-through rate is something that essentially what this is when you log onto YouTube or you go onto the homepage and you see 20 different videos that you can click on. Now, which one are you going to click on? That's kind of a difficult decision, and your brain thinks about it and it picks the most attractive video, the one that's, wow, that looks really cool, or how much did Nate make on YouTube last year? And so you clicked on this video, right? But there were probably other options that were available to you. So having a good thumbnail, having something that's pretty basic, that I like to put my face in it, and then maybe a couple of words or a couple of numbers on the screen. That's what I like to do for my video thumbnails. And the higher click-through rate you have, the more people who are clicking on your video every time they see it, the higher percentage there, the better off you're going to be. YouTube's going to push it out even more. And then there's finally one more factor that really matters for YouTube, which is the watch time. How long are people watching the videos? And I realize that if you can keep people in a video for a longer period of time, YouTube is going to like it more. They're going to push it out to more people. Now, it's also important to not kind of screw people over and wait till like the last second of the video to actually get to your point. So I try to give as much value up front, but then keep giving value throughout the video. So that's why when you came onto this video, and if you were wondering how much I made on YouTube, I told you kind of in the first minute or two that it was $220,000 from this year. But at the end of the day, besides all of those factors that I just mentioned, I like to think that one of the most important factors for what I'm doing on my YouTube channel is to just keep a high level of integrity. And so maybe you've heard me mention this before on this channel, but I truly believe that your name is one of the greatest assets that you have. And once you tarnish your name by selling a crappy product or doing something really stupid and making the news because you said something that you shouldn't say, you end up kind of tarnishing your name. And it's not something that you can really easily get back. Once there's all that bad press out there about you, it's not going to be very good, and people aren't going to like you. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole, right? And so that's why I really kind of just focus on being very honest, being very open, but making sure that I'm not selling something that I don't like, that I'm not screwing over my viewers, that I'm not selling out. And I think that's one of the reasons why the channel has done kind of well in the past year. That's kind of what I like to think, or I like to make myself think that. But, to be honest, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure why the channel did well. Those are my reasonings for it. So should you start a YouTube channel if you don't have one yet, or maybe you already started one, My answer to that is probably. I think it's something really fun. I've honestly enjoyed every day that I end up making a video, or if I'm replying to comments. It's usually just a great feeling. But my piece of advice, if I'm anyone to give advice, I don't know. There's plenty of people who are far more successful. But in the world of YouTube, if you're going to start a channel, my biggest piece of advice is to find a topic that you absolutely love talking about. And you know, I've tried to start channels in the past, way back when I was in high school, about tech, or I tried to start some other channels that I didn't really care about the topic. I didn't care about tech, but I wanted to start a tech channel because I thought I could get a lot of views and make a lot of money on it. But I just wasn't motivated to make videos. And that's why I found my passion, which is talking about personal finances, talking about money, because I really like numbers. I don't know, it's just how I'm wired. I like talking about taxes all day. I mean, I literally talk my accountant's ear off sometimes, and I love talking about taxes. I love talking about finances and investing, and it's just something that is kind of my calling. And so I realized that, and I make videos about it, and it's honestly the best thing in the world. I love doing it, so it doesn't feel like work. So if you're gonna go this route, if you're gonna decide to start a channel or a blog or an Instagram page or anything that you're interested in, just make sure that you're very passionate about it, and it'll never feel like work. You won't mind that you make $2 in the first month. You won't mind that you make $900 for thousands of hours worth of work, because it'll just be kind of fun. And that's how this journey's been for me over the past couple of years. I don't know where it's going in the future. I'm making sure that I'm saving pretty much all the money that I'm making, because there is a life cycle to everything. And at some point, maybe next year, maybe 5 years from now, people aren't gonna care what I have to say. People just won't give a shit about my videos. I'll put one out and I'll get like maybe a couple thousand views for maybe a few 100,000 subscribers, and my channel will fizzle out over time. It just will. And I'm very open about that. I'm very honest about it, and I realize it. And I think that's what's important. So thanks for watching the video. Thanks for supporting and dropping a like and subscribing and commenting and everything else. I really do appreciate all of this, guys. I'm so excited for 2020. And yeah, I'll see everybody in next week's video.